Oh, oh. Well, we can both be here. Why not? Robby Baker, Blake Niemann. That's Blake.
What up?
Robbie, Blake, Robbie, Blake, Robbie. Both of us. Fox 10 Talk
We're here.
Sports pregame. We're having some fun here because we got plenty to talk about. As always, football season kind of on the tail end of things. That also means it is the holiday season, so the festive time of the year here in the Valley and all across the world. We'll start as we usually do here. First of all, if you're joining us on YouTube, drop a comment in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Anything, what you're doing for the holidays, what you think about the Sun Devils, the Cardinals.
What socks you wear?
What socks you wearing? I'm wearing, you can't really see. I got Darth Vader Christmas socks on
They're
today.
tough. I like them.
There you go. Shout out. So we'll start, as we usually do, with ASU. And kind of...
What happened?
Well, there's a lot going on in the world of college football. Thank goodness, I mean, it would be an interesting time to cover the Michigan Wolverines, but truthfully, I'm glad I don't cover the Michigan Wolverines right now because there's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it's tough in this day and age, too, with
We're gonna need
social
to make
media
another
and-
documentary on that for.
Oh, there's probably gonna be a Lifetime movie too. At the way this thing's going, I mean, it's crazy. And with the way the world is, stuff happening so fast, social media, it's hard to decipher exactly what is and what isn't true and what is just being speculated on. One thing we can say fairly definitively, not necessarily reporting, but feel pretty confident saying this, Kenny Dillingham is not going to be the next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. So all of the stuff that you are seeing out there that maybe Michigan fans are trying to manifest destiny here, it ain't happening. I'm just
gonna play this audio real quick.
You look up the audio. I wanted to look up what's the temperature right now in Ann Arbor. It's 78 degrees in Phoenix right now.
It's a beautiful day outside. If you go outside after this,
in Ann Arbor,
you're done watching us,
in Ann Arbor, Michigan, it is currently 25 degrees.
Right,
so
this is from Kenny Dillingham post Territorial Cup. All right, I just want people to listen to this.
I was never leaving, Greg. Contrary to the betrayal article, I was never leaving. I never said I was leaving. This is home, but you do have to continue to push. And my job running a program is to push and push and push until you can't push anymore. And if I didn't do that, I'd be cheating my players, I'd be cheating my staff, I'd be cheating the fan base, I'd be cheating everybody in the city, I'd be cheating the local businesses that feed off of us winning and then they, sell more beer, right? I'd be cheating everybody. So my number one goal always is to do whatever I can to push the envelope for Arizona State football.
Now, the one thing I think is also fair to say, and I don't think that Kenny Dillingham
That does not sound like someone who's going to Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Well, no, absolutely not. And it's also fair to say, I don't know who Kenny Dillingham's agent is, but at some level of this, there is due diligence to be done by an agent to feel around, see what's out there, and then you bring it back to your career. I mean, this happens in any aspect of life. This isn't just being a college football coach. Whatever job you have, you would be doing yourself a disservice if there was a giant opportunity out there not to see what it was like, maybe the offer, money, blah, 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 and then you go back to your current employer at some point and say, hey, look, everything's good here. There's another opportunity. I'm not saying this is what happened with Kenny. I'm just saying there's due diligence done at all levels of this. Kenny Dillingham, Sun Devil fans, you don't have to worry. You made it through the LSU, the Ole Miss, all the big job openings, Penn State. Michigan's not coming in at the 11th hour here.
Kenny Dillingham was just on Jordan Travis. He played at Florida State. Kenny Dillingham coached him when he was at Florida State. He was just on his podcast, him and his brother, the other day, and he was asked if he fielded any calls during the LSU, Penn State, Florida coaching searching thing, and he said, "I don't take any phone calls in season." And he said he didn't take any phone calls in season. He says agents fielded all the calls. He didn't talk to any programs in season. I don't think that's going to change now with Michigan all of a sudden coming open. I just don't see.
And that situation's a mess. That is not a good situation to go into.
It's a program that needs rebuilding again.
100%.
Harbaugh built it up. It took Harbaugh a good 10 years to get a national championship. I believe he got hired mid-2010.
To even beat Ohio State took him almost 8 years.
To beat Ohio State to win a national championship, and then he bolts for the Bolts in the NFL. And now it's you're starting from scratch again and trying to build it up. And Kenny's a passionate guy, but that his passion is because it's authentic. And it's authentic because dude grew up here. He graduated from ASU. His wife is from here. His family's from here. Like, that passion is authentic. He can't just like replicate that. He's a passionate guy about football, but I don't think he can replicate that same passion for a school or a place in Ann Arbor, Michigan that he can right now in Tempe, Arizona.
Well, and that's why the Harbaugh thing worked. The whole Michigan man, the khakis,
exactly.
the maize and blue, like
exactly.
That was it worked because Jim Harbaugh was passionate about Michigan. So
yes.
I don't think there should be no fear in Sun Devil fans about what could be happening here. And to your point about not fielding phone calls, I think it was Adam Brenneman's podcast at the end after the Peach Bowl season. He was asking Kenny about how the Arizona State job even came together. And if I remember the story right, it was similar to this situation where Kenny basically said they lost the big Pac-12 championship game at Oregon, and basically he opened his phone, to an email from his agent that was like, the Arizona State job is a possibility. And it was, and it was like, basically it happened immediately because this was Kenny's dream job. So yeah, no, I don't think Sun Devil fans have anything to be worried about. The area for intrigue for Sun Devil fans lies in the transfer portal, and for that case, Michigan fans too, because their whole team may be transferring with the way this thing is going, or they have the opportunity to, I should say. But Sun Devil fans, eyes on the portal because it opens in, 2 weeks? January 6th?
January 2nd. January 2nd, yep.
And they will be, in theory, looking for a quarterback. Obviously, Jake Fetty's coming in, and you have Cam Dyer.
You got to go out and get a transfer QB.
Yeah.
Like when you're losing Jeff Sims and Sam Levitt, those are both guys who you transferred into the program.
Yeah.
So you, in turn, have to go out and get 2 transfers. Like, look, Cam Dyer's going to be a true sophomore.
Mm-hmm. And we still don't know. He was recruited as a wide receiver.
Right.
I mean, he was a quarterback in high school. They transferred him to wide receiver. Then he tore his ACL. And then they got him reps at quarterback because that was his natural position. But the thought when he came here was he was going to be a wide receiver. So you really can't count on him
It's
as a quarterback.
lot harder than I feel like it used to be to start as a true freshman in college football, because look, the transfer portal wasn't a thing. So like if you had a 5-star guy like Bryce Underwood, circling it back to Michigan, is like honestly one of the rare cases in the country right now,
yeah,
where a true freshman is starting. I mean, Bear Buckmeyer at BYU was another instance,
and he was thrown into it. He wasn't supposed to start.
Right. So it's like
Retzlaff.
It's like it's a odd situation to where I don't think it's in the best interest of in this day and age of college football to start a true freshman and put all your eggs in that one basket. So I think they're going to get a transfer regardless.
And you almost got the sense, at least I won't speak for you, but listening to Kenny talk after the Sam news kind of, I guess you call it, broke. Sam still hasn't officially announced himself, but he's in the transfer portal. But after people, when Kenny was asked, Kenny, not in I wouldn't say a mean way, but Kenny didn't seem concerned. And I don't know if that's because somewhere in the back of his mind he knows something that we don't know yet, or he looked at the camera like this, and he was like, "Oh, your camera, there you go."
Here we go. We got the monologue. He was like, I'm very, very confident that we're going to have a really, really good quarterback at Arizona State. That's all I can say right now. We're going to have a really, really good quarterback at Arizona State.
And maybe that's Jake Fetty. We don't know if that's who he was referring to, because Jake Fetty had just signed in the early signing period out of high school. And Jake Fetty is a 4-star, right?
Yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback in the class.
Elite 11 out of El Paso. I mean, he's a legit quarterback. To your point about having a freshman, their schedule next year is it is brutal.
Yes.
Week 2 of the year, they are at Texas A&M.
Probably their hardest yet in the Big 12.
They go from Texas A&M to London to play Kansas, and then 2 other of their Big 12 road games are at Texas Tech and at BYU. I mean, that is brutal.
That's a doozy.
And Bear Bachmeier did it this year at BYU, so it can be done by a freshman. But if you have the opportunity to bring in a proven veteran from the transfer portal, that behooves ASU to do that.
Well,
and there are other areas of need.
Yes.
Javen Robinson going into the portal, that secondary group is a little thin. You always want to try to bolster both lines, but the defensive line, basically the front 7 2 deep, gone. Not transfer portal, just graduating.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Kangaika's gone. Justin Watley declared for the draft. Clayton Smith will be gone. Prince Dorba will be gone.
Keyshawn
Elliott at linebacker. Then you look on the offensive side, Josh Atkins, their starting left tackle, entered the transfer portal. Their right tackle, Maxi Honachor, hasn't said anything yet, but he will likely declare for the draft. Even though he has some eligibility left, he's a high prospect on some people's radars.
could be a second or third round pick.
Yeah, there's some scouts that are high on him, and then Sean Naa, who's in the two deep, announced he entered the transfer portal yesterday, and there's some other guys that are in the mix. I mean, Ben Coleman got hurt this year, so like they're gonna have to really stack up in that area. We are kind of thinking we don't know what Keith Abney's gonna do yet, but it's kind of trending toward he may go declare for the draft.
I would imagine. I mean, we were talking about this a lot at some of the bowl practices this week. That this is not any inside information, but we get a sense that Keith Abney and Raleek Brown at some point in this process will declare for the draft. And
you got to capitalize on your stock when it's hot.
And both, I don't see either of their stock getting much hotter. I mean, even if they replicated this year's production next year, you just did it 2 years in a row, but I don't think it drastically improves their draft stock. It's probably as high as it's going to get.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
Most scouts want running backs that are younger, on the younger end, because running backs' lifespans, no matter how good you are pretty short. I mean, we've seen like Ezekiel Elliott is literally out of the league.
Yeah.
Like that just shows. And I mean, Todd Gurley, who is like amazing for the Rams.
That was such a quick fall. It's such a quick fall.
It's just like the running back lifespan is so short. So you got to capitalize on it. If you're a Raleek, cornerbacks, like your stock can really only go down from here. First team All Big 12 for Keith Abney. I'd sense he'd be going to the draft. I know we got to get to break here in about 30, but I know it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, we'll talk a little bit. Maybe we'll each pick one area that is the most, well, not quarterback, because that seems like a cop-out. We'll both go one area that is most important for them to address in the transfer portal. And then we'll talk a little Cardinals, because last week we dove into the, it's definitely not the last one. We talked Kyler Murray last week. That's kind of old news now. We'll see, kind of look at the schedule a little bit. Where can the Cardinals' next win come from in the last 4 weeks of the year? We'll talk about that a little bit after this short break. Welcome back in. Fox 10 Talk Sports pregame. Robby Baker, Blake Niemann. Having some fun here. Before we hit the break, we were talking Arizona State football and transfer portal needs. So we'll kind of wrap up that conversation. Other than quarterback and replacing Sam Leavitt and Jeff Sims, what position group we'll each pick one that is the most vital when it comes to the transfer portal? I will go defensive line. I think the hope is still that we still don't know. We talked to CJ Fight this week after practice. He's still kind of non-committal NFL draft, or does he stay? What does the future hold? So getting CJ Fight back is probably, getting CJ Fight to come back is almost like your biggest transfer portal addition in a sense, because if you get him back, that is a big anchor on your defensive line and a potential first or second round NFL draft pick if he continues his trajectory. Other than that, though, as we talked about before the break, it is a very thin group. And one thing that, with a defensive line is if you can, you need bodies. And as we've seen with this ASU unit in the past couple years, depending on who you get in the combination, different guys can pop. It took Prince Dorba a year or two, but he popped, and Justin Watley popped at the end of this year. Those guys, you got to replace some of those guys. And to me, that Brian Ward defense really is at its peak when you're pressuring the quarterback, and then the guys on the back end are able to do what they do. It's not, secondary and pass rush all work in cohesion, but that Brian Ward defense seems to be at its top level when the quarterback is affected on a consistent basis. And we saw that specifically. The reason they beat Texas Tech is because Will Hammond was baffled basically all day, sacked multiple times, multiple turnovers, and they weren't able to replicate that on a consistent basis because of the injuries. But if they can get some more big guys up front through the portal, that would be kind of solidify things on at least the front line of the defense.
Yeah, the trenches are where football is won. It dates back to the late 1800s. It's always how it's been. It's where it is now, and that's where a lot of the money of these NIL collectives, as well as these revenue sharing things like this. This is where the money needs to probably be going for a lot of the programs. Obviously, you got to take care of your quarterback and your skill players. But to win in college football, Texas Tech, you saw what they did there with their defensive line, their defense with Jacob Rodriguez on offensive line. You look at BYU, like tough physical team up front on both sides of the ball. Like that's with ASU losing all its talent, that's where their resources need to go. And that's where this whole Sam Leavitt discussion kind of comes in, is like, should have Sam Leavitt returned, would ASU even been able to have the resources to maybe get the caliber of offensive line or defensive line that they're searching for? I don't know, because Sam Leavitt, we know that he was making $2 million at ASU this year. And maybe depending on what quarterback they get, they could. I'm sure they will be paying him less than Sam Leavitt. I don't know that for sure. Maybe they get an equal caliber quarterback, but to free up some of that money to try and get some other positions of need, they're going to need to do that, because last year they didn't lose nearly as much of their roster as this year. Like their
basically
entire
two deep came back.
The entire two deep came back, and now you're losing a lot of the two deep.
Last year was almost, it was the portal was a luxury last year, almost, where Kenny could look at spots and be like, kicker, Jesus Gomez. Okay, we need a little bit more depth at wide receiver. Okay, Noble Johnson and Jalen Hamilton, and some of those. Not everybody worked out as maybe was hope, but it was more, we could maybe improve here a little bit, improve here a little bit. This year is kind of like, we need to rebuild here a little bit. And if you're a Sun Devil fan and you're listening to this conversation and you're thinking, shoot, we're in for a down year. May I remind you that basically the entire Peach Bowl team, the entire Big 12 championship team, almost, I don't know if the exact percentage, just say 75% of that team basically was transferred in that year. That was the whole storyline coming into the year, was
I think
70
plus transfers,
70 plus new players. How would they mesh? How would this all look? And they won the conference and went to the Peach Bowl, and should have beat Texas to go to the semifinals of the playoffs. So there is not only just a track record for Kenny and quarterbacks, there's a track record for Kenny understanding how the transfer portal operates at a high level. We'll pivot off of this. We'll talk Cardinals now. Losers of 5 straight. Things are bad. You're watching this and you're a sports fan, The Texans this weekend, on the road, probably a loss. At home against the Falcons on the 21st of December.
Falcons just won last night.
I was going to say that's honestly probably their most winnable game, but you saw what the Falcons did last night. That it's honestly probably more about the Bucs blowing that game late, but the Falcons found a way to win it.
Shout out Zane Gonzalez.
Arizona State kicker, former Arizona State kicker with the winner. Then you got the early body clock, 11 a.m. kickoff in Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Is Joe Burrow going to play football
again?
again?
People are talking. People are asking questions. And then they end the season in L.A. against the Rams on either the 3rd or 4th. That game hasn't been scheduled yet because of flex scheduling. So, honestly, the Falcons are probably the most winnable game there. I don't think Joe Burrow is quitting on the Bengals. I think the conversation with Joe Burrow is he going to demand a trade in the offseason? And that's fair after you have a press conference.
Or is he going to retire?
Honestly,
it's crazy.
I saw people comparing his press conference to one of the last couple Andrew Luck's, where you're just talking about not having fun anymore, playing the game of football. And if you're a Bengals fan, that's a very scary place to be in.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. But as far as the Cardinals go, it's just been a tough season.
It has been.
I don't know what needs to change, but something needs to change this offseason. How long is the losing streak at this point?
Well, they've lost 5 straight.
Their last win was on Monday Night Football.
The Monday Night Football against the Cowboys, but we can just do the.
They have 3 wins.
3 wins. They started the season 2-0, and they're 3-10, so they're 1-9 in their last 10 games.
That's
right?
bad.
Did I do that right? That sounds right.
We
don't do math here.
It's not good. The point is, the situation is bad, really bad.
As Blake would say, it's cooked.
It's cooked.
I don't know what that means because I'm too old.
It's
but
completely
it doesn't sound
fried. Something's got to change. I think the fan base has been lost. We saw at the Rams game, fans were leaving with rightfully so, with 10 minutes left in the 4th. The fan base has lost interest. And that is bad for ticket sales. That's bad for revenue. That is when you lose the fan base, you lose the support, and you need that in the NFL just to rally a community. And right now, ASU football is carrying the community.
They are the football team right now. Yeah. Even with the up and down season they had, there's still more excitement.
Yes, and the Cardinals, it's what do they have to point to in the future? ASU right now, it's Kenny Dillingham. It's an exciting coach to rally behind. I don't think fans are super enthused behind Jonathan Gannon. I don't know how enthused they are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call for anybody's job, but I'm just saying whether it's Gannon or Kyler Murray, I think fans, some of them are still behind him, but I feel like the majority of them have turned away from it.
It's just it's so tough. We talked about this with the Kyler situation last week, where we both were kind of in the consensus that whether football-wise it makes sense or not, it feels like it's gone stale. It's kind of just hit that point now. It feels like, both sides, it may just be better for both sides just to part ways and see what happens in the future. Will that happen? We don't know. We don't know what the future holds for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. But the one thing that you have to think about too with all of this is we are in, when I say the proverbial we, Cardinals fans, this Arizona community, we're in year 3 of another rebuild. And so if you're going to hypothetically, whether it's Jonathan Gannon or just certain coordinators, no matter what you do with the front office and the coaching staff, and then if you end up trading your franchise quarterback, it's not like you do that and then next year you go to the Super Bowl. This is just prolonging, especially too when you look at the division. The Rams do not seem to be taking any steps back. The 49ers are not taking any steps back. The Seahawks are not taking any steps back. So it's the Cardinals. It's like I've joked back in the sports office. It's like that meme with all the dragons and they all look angry, and then there's the one with its tongue sticking out. And it's like you can at home you can figure out which one feels like the Cardinals right now.
It's just here's where my head's at with this is you move on from Kyler, you get some draft picks, maybe a draft pick in return, mid-tier draft pick, okay? Then you get him off the books. That frees up salary cap space, right? Maybe get some more guys in free.
And that's if you can trade them.
And
if you cut them and they eat the dead money, then you're just moving on personnel-wise. But continue.
They have to get some offensive linemen. The offensive line has not been great. Jacoby Brissett has been dealing with getting sacked a lot. But yeah, he's put up pretty good numbers. I think Jacoby Brissett can give you a bridge year. Jacoby Brissett gives you a bridge year next year. This upcoming draft, you draft the top offensive lineman you can, and then the following year after that, you go and get your quarterback. and start fresh. Like, I think fans, like, if you're starting fresh, you at least like give the fans some hope of like something to like, okay, this is new, this is different, this is the same old, same old. I think Jonathan Gannon, like, he takes accountability, and like, you know, I think he's a pretty good coach. Like, I don't think he is necessarily the change that needs to happen.
I think I would agree with that in the sense that if you change everything this offseason,
like Cliff Kingsbury was a first-time NFL head coach.
Technically the last four. Bruce Arians this was his first head coaching job, and then Steve Wilkes' first head coaching job, and then Cliff Kingsbury first head coaching job, and then Jonathan Gannon first head coaching job. So there's also a pattern
Jonathan
here.
Gannon, though, at least was like on a Super Bowl winning championship team as a defensive coordinator.
They lost to the Chiefs, but he was in the Super Bowl.
Right.
He was
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cliff Kingsbury was coming from college,
Mm-hmm.
and Jonathan Gannon had to essentially just inherit Kyler Murray.
Yes, correct.
So if he kind of gets to start, and so did Money Austin for it, right?
Yeah. That was Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury technically.
So now
Keim.
it's like, look, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. maybe underwhelming in a lot of people's eyes, but he's shown a lot of flashes too. I mean, Michael Wilson has been promising, especially in recent weeks. It's like people are going to judge his drafting abilities, but I think there's some promise there. I think just give this GM head coaching staff, like, I know it's been 3 years, but maybe get them a chance to start with their own like quarterback and start anew. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
No, it honestly, it is the ultimate rock in a hard place, because if you go that route, you're basically committing yourself to, in totality, probably 6 years of this, because we're already in year 3. If you assume year 4 is the bridge year with Jacoby Brissett, then year 5 is the first year of the rookie quarterback, and then you assume, well, rookie quarterback, you got to wait till their second year when they make the jump. So you're selling a very long-term vision to Cardinals fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Cardinals, and I'm not saying it's the wrong one. That's just the counter argument.
Yeah.
And to your point about a North Star to point towards, I don't know if that's the one for the Cardinals right now.
Trey McBride is really the only North Star that there is right now.
Yeah, well, and the fact that Budda Baker is still wearing the Cardinals jersey is fantastic.
That's true.
But overall, and then but similarly, the counter argument, the flip side is, I don't know if they just did it, the whole rebuild. So I don't know if Cardinal fans, if you say we're doing it again, everyone's going to be like, woohoo, we're doing it again. So we'll see. The good thing for us is there's never any shortage of Cardinal stuff to talk about here and to speculate on, because it is always an interesting time right now.
Predictions wise, Cardinals lose.
Yeah, I think Houston will win this one. I'll go 28-10.
I'll go 28-17.
Oh, one more touchdown, courtesy of Blake Niemann. Hey, we'll see you guys again next Friday, 3:30 right here on Fox.